Okay, here's your fingerprint. Now the drag is that it was great that you sent the 3DM that you were working on. There was no image in there, so to try anything in matrix art for me, I didn't really have an image. So what I did is I screen captured the image that was placed in the background bitmap. I have no idea if that hurt the image quality-wise or not. Or if this is kind of what it looked like. This would work in matrix art, but the problem is that the resolution isn't the greatest. In other words, we can see the actual pixels, and the line is really made up of just a row of pixels. And that's a drag because the resolution, what you see is what you get. So if a major part of the design is just a pixel, then we don't have enough resolution to really make a good smooth image. Ideally, you would have a scan or a digital photograph of the fingerprint that would have a lot of information. And the same thing goes with faces too. People try to do a face in matrix art, and the image, let's say, is 400 by 300 pixels. Well, in the image then, someone's head might be just 50 pixels across, and to give something as complex as a human face just 50 pixels, it's just not going to be that good. So there's my speech on that. Now, looking at what we have, what we're trying to do here is to get this so that we have a lot of contrast to the image, and we get just the linear feel of the fingerprint. So what I did is I took this image, okay, and I went ahead and I took this actually in DG and used contrast, but you could do it in any program. And I pushed the contrast such that this turned into a black and white image. So I have just this linear feel to it, and you can actually see the swirls. Now I went ahead and Googled fingerprint, and if you could, what you'd want to do is if you have this fingerprint for this actual, the one that you had, and you can scan it at a higher resolution. Here, let me go to 1:1 on this thing, so I'll go actual size. And here you can see I have way more information, and we'll try this one and see how it works, but that's what you're looking for. You're looking for this much resolution as opposed to this much resolution, if that helps you. Okay, so there's that. Now, without trying to confuse the issue, the one I'm going to use for matrix art is the original one that has a little bit of softness to it, not the super contrasty one. I'm going to show you what I use that one for after I do the matrix art thing. So let's head on over to matrix, and here's just a rounded rectangle that I have as the surface, and let's go to art, and we'll go and throw this in here like so, and I'm going to go ahead and hit load profile, and I can't move this so you can't see it, but I'm picking flat, the one that's called flat. And I'm going to have to scale this out a little. Oh no, I can raise it up. There we go. And I'm going to make this so that it has no thickness basically at all. 0.04 positive. Okay. And let's go over to picture then. Oh, my resolution right now is 20, and that's probably plenty. So if you switch this from 10 to 20, don't forget to hit update resolution. Okay, at this point we'll go ahead and hit load bitmap, and let's do, what is that, 288. Okay, so there's my snag picture, 288, and that's going to load here. And the first thing we want to do is fill the shape. So I fill the shape. And really for matrix art, this is backwards. We don't want the white to come up and the black to stay down. We want a flat field and the fingerprint to come up. So what we'd really want to do is invert the bitmap so that now that's staying down and the fingerprint's being raised up. At least that's the way I see it. Okay, we probably don't need this to be a millimeter tall because you can't have no idea what's going on. So I'm going to take this down, and you know, the minute you get really shallow it looks really good, but it's only 0.13. So let's go up to about 0.3, and then let's head over to effects. Now the first thing I'm going to do is go to blur amount and see if blur is going to help this at all. And I think it does. Depends on how much blur you want to get. You know, maybe even low is good. And then at that point, what we're going to do is change the contrast, because you can see in here where it has this kind of outline, this edge, and that's where a different color exists, a different amount of luminance. So let's go to high end, and as we move this down, let's do low end first. As we pull the low end up, you can see that goes away because we're averaging the pixels on that up to a certain level, and that's eating up. It's like a water line. If we keep going, we're going to fill it up, fill it up, fill it up until it goes away. Okay, so I'm just going up high enough to take care of that low end kind of jitter there. Then we'll go to the high end, and as we pull it down, we start to average the top end. Now, of course, that's too much, but we want to just start to eat into that like so. There, in matrix art, is the best chance that we have of getting a fingerprint just from the artwork that we have. And at this point, we would hit Create Mesh, and let's use this shade method here. And so there you go with a fingerprint like so. Okay, so there's round one. Let's see. Let's go ahead and I'm going to squeeze this a little bit. Alright, so now let's put this one in. And okay, and let's go here, and we'll go picture, browse. I think that's Snag at 290, the latest one. And you can see it's a much higher res image. We will invert the bitmap and fill the shape and take the resolution down, and you can tell we're already much better. And come over here to effects, high-end contrast. Let's see low end as well. Back to the height. And the other thing was an amount of blur. There we go. And that's pretty good there. So we can hit Create Mesh and wait for that. Okay, so here's shade. And that would mill out. That would mill out great. You know, we got nice valleys, very defined. Could be taller too if you wanted, but that would mill out like a champ. The last thing is a much more convoluted way of doing this, and it involves there's a website that traces vector art. Okay, well basically the other way that I did this is that I took the original image that you had, this one, and I pushed the contrast so it looked like this. And then I took it into this Vector Magic program, which you can find a link to this on the forum in the where is it? It's in the section here, I'll just go to it. General Post section, including wacky stuff. This one, changing BMP to vector. Okay, this is a neat program. So anyway, it's on the forum, and here's the result of that after you tweak it in that software. Basically, this is a screen capture from it, and so this is all traced. So if we go back to Matrix, okay, let's go ahead and, you know what, I'm gonna put this turned out really pretty good. Let's put that in there. There we go. Alright, close that, and I think I have. Okay, so if we open up, I have this saved already, but here's the vector image file, and you can see this is all traced. This is all all vectors, and I guess it did okay. The nice thing is that this is a sure thing. It's extruded and it's sharp, and this would mill within reason, but it definitely doesn't have, you know, as you zoom out, it has the linear feel that we're looking for, but it is a bit broken up, and it's all because really how good the image is of the fingerprint. That's the real key there. So I hope this helps.